Welcome to the Legacy broadcast today. We are excited about the opportunity to be in your home, to be with you wherever you may be. And I'm David Walker, and this is Shirley, my wife. And guess who these two are? The Tippits. Amazing. Sammy and Tex. And we are just going to be spending some time today talking about something that's at hand, something, Sammy, that you've been praying for and working on for a good while. So welcome.
Well, it's great to be here and just to be sharing in this, and together the Lord just continues to bless us, and it's a joy. I think the Lord has put something on my heart that I've been working on for a number of months, and we're about ready to launch it. But the Lord has been working on me for lots longer than several months. It's been a couple of years, I think, in the making of things happening. Starting with, I think, Billy Hobbs's death, our dear friend, who was killed in an accident, and that set off a chain of events that I knew that God was in control, and God is in control, and He's sovereign. But a lot of things didn't make sense to me, and things continued to happen. And
isn't it amazing? I think for all of us that we can get in our routines. We can be moving through life so quickly. It's fast. Until something happens, or maybe a series of things to just put the brakes on, and we are forced to look inside, look more deeply at things.
And for me, it's this thing of waiting before the Lord and waiting on the Lord. I'm deeply committed to prayer, but people think, it comes naturally. I struggle with it. I'm a natural doer, and so waiting on the Lord is something I don't know why God has to speak loudly and clearly and drastically with me. And but after Billy died, was killed in an automobile accident. I went through some just deep times of sorrow. Some people ask me if it's depression. It wasn't. I still had a positive outlook on life. I was functioning well. It was just sadness. And I think one of the things that happens to us is that we go through sad times in life, and we don't talk about that much as Christians. But Paul said he wanted to know Christ and the fellowship of His sufferings. Well, sufferings means hurt and pain, and but anyway, that's launched it, and a number of things happened, and it sort of culminated with this man calling me or talking to my sister and saying that he thought he was our brother, and then I had to research my family background, but what I came up with was that my grandmother was this godly praying woman.
Which grandmother?
This was on my dad's side.
Okay.
So my dad's mother, she was from a mixed race, actually. What sociologists call Mystique groups and anthropologists call triracial isolates. They were people who were triracial, going all the way back to the early Jamestown colony and
United States.
And here in the United States, and some of the original multiracial, multicultural people in America were my people, and I didn't know that, but I found out there was a godly heritage there, and as I learned that, I realized that all that I'm doing today is not an accident. I mean, it's God. I mean, my grandmother prayed, and she had a great-grandfather who prayed, and I mean, it just goes on back, and that hundreds of years of people praying, and me being in 80 countries, touching thousands of people's lives, was a result of a praying people, that a legacy was left me, and that was what first gripped me. But then I went, and I was at a conference, David, and God did a work in my life. There was a just godly man by the name of Dr. Crawford Loritz. Maybe some of the people have read some of his books. But Crawford was leading a prayer meeting at the conference. And we had an early morning prayer meeting. And he started off the prayer meeting by saying, we always take requests. He said, we're not going to take requests. Let's just get down and get before God and seek God. And that was the way he started off. So we got down, we started seeking God in this early morning prayer meeting. There was Christian leaders from across America. And the Lord just began to speak to my heart. And He said, Sammy, you're a liar. Because at this time, all the things that had happened to me, I was tired, I was exhausted. And he said, Sammy, you've been saying that, it's your problems, your circumstances, these things you're going through, and that's why you're exhausted. And the truth is, I said in my word, they who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Mm-hmm. They shall mount up with wings as an eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Mm-hmm. Either my word's true and you're a liar, or my word's not true. Mm-hmm. And man, just like hit me. And I began to weep, and I confessed that before all those people in that prayer meeting. And afterwards, Crawford was supposed to speak that morning. And Crawford came to me and he said, Sammy, I went back to my room and prayed. And he said, I believe God's getting ready to do something with you and launch you in a different direction than you've ever known before. And okay.
And he said, I'm not given to
And he said, Crawford said, hey, this is not the kind of thing I do. I'm not given to these type of things and coming and telling people that. But I really feel it's in my heart. And so I began to ponder that. And the Lord spoke to my heart when the conference came to an end to take 7 days in which I spent 3 hours each day alone with Him. And I have to say that almost all 7 days I did that. One day I didn't spend a full 3 hours, but I took that time, and there was nothing drastic that happened except God gave me a vision, and a vision began to emerge. And at first, it was to write a book entitled "Praying for Your Family," because I saw the need in so many families where wayward children, grandchildren, husbands, wives, parents, cousins, aunts, uncles who were away from God. And one of the things that God has done in our lives is walked us through seeing family members commit their lives to Christ and just circles around us and seeing that happen over our lives. And so the Lord began to burden my heart that we needed to challenge, teach, and train. So at first it was write a book. And then as time began to progress, it was more than write a book, to provide a set of tools, a book, a workbook, and a DVD for people to be trained and taught how to pray for their families. And then I was going overseas, and on the plane, the Lord spoke to my heart again. He said, no, it's more than tools. It's launch a movement. And I was really taken back by that, because that seems a little presumptuous on my part. Who am I to launch a movement?